Hello and welcome to another episode of Tribunal of the Grid, where we talk about all things Power Rangers, including the actors that play them. My name is Brandon.
I am Lena.
And I'm Will.
And today we have a full show for you guys. We took a little break, just a little week break, you know what I'm saying? But we still gonna turn it. We still gonna give you plenty of things to laugh at. Probably some things to be mad at. Probably disagree with us. But it is what it is. I mean, we don't always say things or say points that people agree with, and that's okay. But for the most part, most of the time, people do agree. But we are here, we are back, and we are just gonna bring you guys another show. How about that? Okay, is that okay with y'all? Is that okay with y'all? It's because it's okay with me.
They don't have a choice.
Unless they just turn it off.
Right, obviously. It'd be like, okay.
Hopefully you're not going to do that.
Right, like, I don't want to listen to this. Fine, well, don't.
But also, please do.
Right, please do, though. Like, we would really appreciate it. And speaking of appreciation, you can find us on everywhere, basically. YouTube, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Oh gosh, like you find us everywhere. If you really want to look for us, we're there. We are everywhere. So thank you all for the people who have been listening to us. We really do appreciate it. For those of you who have been listening and you love us, tell a friend. Please tell everybody. Tell them. Be like, hey, I'm listening to this podcast. Like, it is so funny. Like they are so funny, and they all find follow them on their own social media. I mean, Lena just got her cats, but you know what I'm saying? Her cats are cute too. You know what I'm saying? Like, just follow all of them, and like you just it's given. It's everything, But the links to everything is linktr.ee/Tribunal of the Grid. Once again, that is linktr.ee/Tribunal of the Grid. All of our links are there. You can follow us and, get your life. Now, we've had some comments on the different platforms. Like, one came from SoundCloud. So Brian Weaver, one of our listeners, we love you. Thank you. Okay, one of our regular listeners commented on the interview with Kristina Ho, and he said that Betty would be an awesome Pink Ranger. I completely agree. Completely.
I love that. Would love for her to be the Pink Ranger. Are you kidding? Pink looks great on her.
Seriously, I think she would look. That would be cool, right? Like, okay. Love to see it. I think she would be I think she'd be a really good Pink Ranger if she was to come back.
And if she came back, or maybe it happened in one of the alternate timelines.
Right. Because this show love alternate timelines, Nanny. Or excuse me. Alternate dimensions, because everything be happening in different dimensions nowadays. Like, this doesn't seem right, or this ending makes no sense. Oh, that's because it's in an alternate dimension. Oh, okay. So basically, you're just saying that because you screwed up. Got it.
I mean, in all fairness, that is a really easy answer. We should start using that.
I mean, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. You didn't read our post properly because it was in an alternate universe.
It was in an alternate universe. That's exactly why. That is exactly why you just didn't understand it. But yeah.
Oh, my favorite is when they don't recognize the Ranger actors that we're talking about that day. Oh, who's this? Oh, you don't recognize them? I understand because it's from an alternate universe. Where's what mean? I'm sorry. That was me.
I mean, it's the truth.
Listen, I just be so shocked when some people literally will be like, who is this person? And it's like, and they'll be from like a recent season, and I'm like, like, I'm
All
confused.
it takes is a Google. All it takes is a Google.
Not even that, but sometimes we even literally put in the caption, like, this is who this is. And they're like, who is this? And I'm like,
I mean, maybe they're, I'm always making excuses for people. Maybe they're like, in scroll mode, but at the same time, if you took the time to comment, you would think that they would have read.
But no, I'm sorry. Well, stop.
Just saying.
Stop making excuses. Like, if you are on a page and if you're interested in something, you would do your research. Point blank and simple.
And the thing is, it's like, even if you were in scroll mode, like, because I do it. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I would look at something, I'll be like, what the heck? What the heck was that? And like, I would do that. But the thing is, the first thing I do is when I look at it, if I'm like, what the heck was that? I don't just go straight to the comment section and just type, what is this? Mm-hmm. Like, the first thing I'm doing, if I'm in scroll mode and I'm like looking, I'm like, first thing I'm doing is I'm gonna look at the caption. Because I want to read the caption to see what is in the picture. Because 9 times out of 10, somebody's going to describe what or who is in the picture.
Right. And if
so
and if you still don't understand it, the comments, because that's what I always do too. If I don't understand it still, I go to the comment. And I'm like,
I go to the comment.
Oh, I get it.
Right. That's why I'm like, I don't understand why people ask these things. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just like, you know what? Do you, baby? Do you? But as you also know, I don't answer when they ask. I never respond.
It depends on my mood.
Same.
Yeah,
Same.
like
y'all nicer than me.
This is true.
Y'all are a lot nicer than me, so no.
Sometimes it's like, damn, read the caption. Or if I'm like in a information sharing mood, I'll be like, oh yeah, okay.
I mean, I'm never usually in the information sharing mood, but when I do respond, I'm very like, this is Will from a podcast called Tribunal of the Grid. It is on SoundCloud, Google, Spotify. Like, I would literally list everything just to be as descriptive as possible. And if they still don't understand, then I just don't respond.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because I'm like, when I post things, a lot of times, like, I'll make sure that especially if it's like a person, like a specific person, I'll always make sure I name the person and name exactly what season they came from, what they did, the character they played, and everything. And then talk about whatever it is that they're doing currently or whatever it is that I'm posting about. It's so weird to me that you still get people who will literally just be like, who is this? Did you read the caption? And that's literally the exact reason why I don't say anything. Because I know if I say something, it's going to come off really mean. And I want it to come off mean. So
we don't want that.
So that's why I'm like, I just don't respond. Because I'm like, no, Brandon, don't respond. Don't do that, because you don't want people to get mad at you and all this stuff, even though I don't care. But you don't want people, to be like, you're mean and all this stuff. So it's like, okay, you know what? Just don't. Just don't. And I just don't respond. But seriously, like, it really does. It really does blow my mind, because I'm like, I go through all, and Lena, you do too, I'm sure. Like, you go through of this, trying to post it, getting all this research and just trying to put it all in the status and in the caption and just like, yeah, this is what it is, this is what it is. And then someone just goes and not even read it and ask you exactly what's in the caption. Like, it's just like, what am I doing this for? I might as well just post a picture and then just have you ask me all the questions.
I mean, you know what? I agree with you. And I will say this, I'm not gonna lie, in the beginning, I didn't do it. And then people asked, and I was like, okay, cool. Let me go back in and change my caption. So I would go ahead and do that, right? But now I actually take the time to do it. So for those of you who's following us on After the Power Horror, you all know I purposely will specify who it is, what season, and who they play. So now that I do it, do not ask.
Oh gosh. Seriously, like it really does blow my mind. Cause like I would be, and with me, I'm like so meticulous with it because I used to be a journalist. So like I'm so meticulous and I'm just like, I have to make sure I get everything in there. And then like somebody would go and be like, who is this actor? Like the way my head would turn, like old girl from The Exorcist. Like my head would be spinning and I would be spitting pea soup. I'd be so mad. I'm like, read! Like, just read it. Like, oh my God. But, you know, I have gotten better. I have matured. I have grown a little. So I've just been like, you know what? I just won't respond. And maybe that person will get the information that they want. Either that is through, you know, them actually researching it themselves, or actually someone else in the comment section will answer them, which I have noticed that has happened many times, where someone will be like, what is this? Or who is this person? Even though it's in the caption, what is this? Or who is this person? And then someone else will comment and be like, it's this person, but they mentioned it. It's like, oh, okay. So yeah, I've seen that happen. Heads up, guys. And post something, I guarantee you, it's in the comments. It's in there. It's in the caption. Just read. I promise. It's there. I promise. All your questions will be answered. But speaking of other comments, our homie, Derek Hervey, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's big homie, you know what I'm saying? Shouts out to him. He also commented on one of our YouTube videos on episode 90. I Want to Be the One Who Never Had It, which we reviewed Devon's Ghost by Karan Ashley, who played the Yellow Ranger, Aisha. He said, probably late to this one if y'all read this comment, yet really dug this episode. Finding such an obscure indie film like Veteran Ranger franchise Illuminati being Karen and Johnny, and not to mention also the Rising Sun, Michael Bay, action director, Mr. Sakamoto. Boy, howdy, this movie is a rare one. No pun intended. I'm also listening when I might not catch y'all's YouTube uploads on Spotify. Great one, crew. Keep them flowing. Oh my God. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And thank you also for having us on Spotify. Thank you.
Right? Yeah.
Oh my God. That is amazing. We really appreciate that. Because clearly we keep saying it. We are everywhere. So please listen to us on different platforms. We really would appreciate it. We really appreciate it if you would. Please do that.
Mostly on Apple. Please listen to us on Apple or Spotify.
Oh, for sure, definitely.
Because
those
ones
definitely do that.
Will help us, find other similar listeners to you that would appreciate the content just as much as you do.
Mm-hmm. Booyah! Exactly. Or in Boom Tower's voice, Boom Shakalaka. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Wait, did we get to that? No, we didn't get to that episode yet. Anyway, we're going to talk about these episodes.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
I was with you. I was like, what is he talking about? I have no idea. I'm going to go back to popcorn.
No, because he said that in future episodes, but we haven't gotten to them yet in order to review them. But he did say that. You'll know when he says it. Anyway, now y'all made me feel stupid.
Good.
But anywho, so today we will definitely be covering. We'll be covering some stuff. We'll be covering Hasbro PulseCon information, the Emma Lahana thing. We're briefly going to touch on that, child, because that's, yeah. Briefly, we're going to talk about that. And we're going to also talk about some Super 7 stuff. And we're going to also mention Nakia and Kat and their COVID experience. So yeah, continue listening. And oh yeah, we're also going to talk about Dino Fury episode 12 and 13. So definitely
Big one.
the big one, honey. So, definitely keep on listening and, enjoy the show. Now, when it comes to Hasbro PulseCon, right? We really haven't Hasbro PulseCon, we've only really have seen them online. Like we've never really been to an Hasbro PulseCon as Power Rangers fans. I think we probably may have only had them we probably may have only been to like one. Well, not been to, but like as far as like people actually going to their cons that are Power Rangers fans. Because I want to say that Hasbro PulseCon really like started being a thing for Power Ranger fans, like right before the pandemic hit, like a year before. Like, because it really was never really a thing with Hasbro and Power Ranger fans to be like, oh, let's go to a Hasbro PulseCon. So I don't really think that many Power Ranger fans have been to a Hasbro con, if any, to be honest. Like, I don't really think that people have gone like that. I mean, I know some people have. I want to say Lisa J and some others, No Pink Spandex and some other people probably went. I think like Black Nerd Comedy went to one. But for the most part, I don't really believe people have actually gone in person. I've only seen them online. But yeah, so basically Hasbro PulseCon is happening again this year online. And we will be having special guests. Well, they will be having special guests, the cast of Power Rangers Dino Fury. So all of them will be on the, in the con on like a special panel. Now, I'm pretty sure they're going to be in suit. I'm almost positive they're going to be in suit. And I say that because, as we've probably already seen, Hunter Dino stays sporting the pink suit, and she at home.
Yeah, I'm like,
she's at home. Right, and I think they gave them one. I think they actually gave them their suits. They might have just given them a suit from the show, probably one that they've probably been wearing in not pre-production, in
promotional shots.
Yeah, promotional shots, exactly. Just giving them that and just like, hey, you're gonna need it because you're still gonna be doing cons and stuff. So here you go. Like, just go ahead and take this suit. And because I want to say Chance on one of his lives that I watched briefly, somebody asked him to put on his suit, and he just showed it. He was like, "There's a lot that goes into putting on this suit, and I don't feel like doing it, but I'm gonna show it to you." And I was like, "That's real, baby. That's real."
I don't blame him. Like, I'm sorry. Period. Anyone asked me to change clothes, that's already a lot of a struggle. And you understand you put on a whole ass suit?
A whole suit. They were like, "Oh, are you gonna put on the suit?" And he's like, no, but I'm gonna show it to you." I was like,
he's real.
Boom. Okay. I was like, I know that's right. But
right? I mean, it would have been different if he decided to start the live with the suit on.
Right.
Then that's different because he knew he needed the suit on. But you know what? You can't be expecting people to be changing that kind of stuff. Some people don't even change their underwears, okay?
Oh. I mean, yes, but ew. But no, I totally agree. I was like, I wouldn't do that mess either. But yes, sir. But he mentioned in the live that they were supposed to be getting their helmets made by somebody else. By I think a different company or something, and they were sending them from Australia. So he was just waiting on his helmet to come, but he had the full suit. So he was just like, I'm just waiting on that. But yeah, so they have their suits. Like, they actually have the actual show suit, which I think is really freaking cool. So they're probably gonna be in suit during the actual post-con. So that's exciting. I think they'll be in suit. And plus, I really want to actually see them like with their own look. You know what I'm saying? In the suit. Like, I want to see them like actually looking like how they would look themselves. Not how like the show would like beat them. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially with the women. Because the way they be having Hunter look, they have her looking like Miss Plain Jane. And I'm sorry, but Hunter is gorgeous. Like, sis be beating she be giving looks. And she be like beating that face and doing her hair. And honey, she be serving looks. I'm like, no, have Hunter beat her face, curl this hair, do the things, and then have her put on the Pink Ranger costume. Absolutely. Same thing for Tessa. Have Tessa beat her face, put on all the makeup, and then do her hair, the way she want to do it, and then have her put on the Green Ranger suit. Boom. We love to see it. The guys, y'all can do whatever y'all want to do. I don't care. I don't care. I really don't care what you do. But the ladies, y'all serve us. We love to see it. We want to see it. So yes, that is definitely going down. So they will be actually being hosted by Brandon Davis. I'm not sure who that is. Anybody know who that is? I mean, apparently he's a host and a producer. I've never heard of this man. I feel bad. I am so sorry. To this man. I don't know him. But apparently, this man is supposed to be, the host. So, shouts out to him. He's going to be hosting, and he's going to be the panel moderator for that. Also, we're going to be having a brand panel being done as well. So they're probably going to be doing like some more lightning collection releases and stuff like that. So I'm wondering what they're going to try to like throw at us this time. Hopefully they do some Dino Fury. I'm hoping they do Dino Fury.
I was going to ask if you thought if they do the stuff that we already know is coming out, or do you think they're going to give us a couple of new things?
I think they're going to give us some new things, to be honest. I think they're going to give us some new things because here's the one thing I've learned about Hasbro, just honestly, like, unless they just don't have anything to give us, that's the only way they're going to be like, oh, look at this. Yay. I know you probably done seen it already, but we're going to show it to you anyway. That's really the only time they'll do that, is if it's already kind of been thrown out in the wild. But if this is something that they've already put out, I don't think they do that. I do definitely think that they're going to deal with some new stuff, but I guarantee you 9 times out of 10 beforehand, it's probably going to be spoiled before. It's probably going to pop up somewhere. And probably like a few days. Hell, I'll give y'all probably by this week. This week, something's going to pop up from Hasbro Con. Something's going to leak, and we're going to know exactly what they're going to be serving us before we even get it. Like, I know this. Like, I feel it. I feel it in my gut.
It's been happening this whole run.
Okay, since they've been with Hasbro, it's just been happening. Like, they've just every time. It would never fail. Like, they'll be ready to do, they'll be ready to like have a Hasbro Power Rangers Day or whatever. What is it? Hasbro Fan First Friday, and they'll be like, oh yeah, we're about to give you X, Y, and Z, and we're about to give you the new hotness, and like literally like 4 days before, like it's already been spoiled, literally. Like, they are like, oh yeah, this is coming. So I wouldn't put it past them. But, now there has been rumors that there is a whole list of toys that are about to come out, like of different Rangers. I don't have the list in front of me, but it's like a crap ton of Rangers that literally are on that list that are supposed to come out. I think Trip is one of them. Trip the Green Ranger.
Oh, wow.
He's one of them. But still, in that list, there was no Jen, which I'm like, what are you guys doing? But
I know,
apparently,
right?
I'm so irritated. I'm like, oh my God. But Trip was a part of that list. I want to say Z was in that list too. SPD. I want to say she was in that list. I have to find it.
Or SPD. Finally.
Yeah, I think we're going to be done with SPD. I would have to go and find that list. But yeah, like it's like I want to say it's like 12 different rangers. Like it's like a whole lot of them. Like it's like a humongous crazy list of rangers that they're talking about releasing. So or is rumored to be released. So I'm excited. Like if they are releasing that list, like if those are the rangers that are going to be released, I'm excited. Like yes, give it to me. I want it. But like I said, Jim was not on that list, which I'm just like, y'all getting on my last nerve now. But you know, whatever. Women, right? And women, am I right? So, and then also they're gonna do a Boom Studio panel with none other than Ryan Parrott. So that is exciting. He's going to be talking about the Eltarian War, which, you know, it's about to get real, y'all. For y'all comics readers, like, it's about to get real. It's about to get real. So
yeah, I'm not all the way caught up, but some of the stuff that I've seen so far is like, wow.
Yeah. Like, I'm pretty much 100% caught up. And when I tell you, when I say it gets real, like that cliffhanger before we get to the Eltarian War, because we're like pretty much there. That cliffhanger before we actually get before they start the actual Eltarian War, it was just I'm like, oh my God. Like I don't know what to expect at this point. Like, woo, so it's about to get real. That's all I'm gonna say. It's about to get real. So yes, I'm excited for what Ryan Parrott is going to do. I honestly think this man needs to be in the actual like room with the TV show people. Hell,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? Like he needs to be there, like giving ideas, or hell, even like being with Jonathan Entwistle when he finally decides to, you know, do Power Rangers for us. Because this man is like, I'm going to do everything but Power Rangers. But, you know, when he finally actually starts to actually decide to want to do it, I would love for him and Ryan Parrott to get together because, like, Ryan Parrott just gets it. Like, he understands the assignment. And I'm like, there's hardly nothing this man has done that literally, that made me go, what the hell was that? Like, there was not any, and the only time that has actually happened, it was in a good way. But honestly, like Ryan Parrott, he's just so good. Like he understands exactly what he's doing. He understands the brand. And he just, chef's kiss. Like it's just, pretty much almost everything this man has done in the comics thus far for me has just been gold. Like it's just, I'm like, yes, sir, you are doing the
flawless.
things.
Yeah.
Seriously, I'm
so
just
much
like,
fun.
oh, they are right. Like they're just, I just love it. I love everything he does. It's just like, yes, sir. Because it's like how you make a whole character that did not exist in the show. You made a whole character and you're making me feel for him. Excuse me. Like I only thought Matt was going to be there just in go-go. This mug is like. This mug is playing a whole like important central factor in this comic so far. And it's like, I wasn't expecting this. Like, I was just expecting him to be in go-go and that's it. Like, I love it. But yeah, so they're gonna be talking with Ryan Parrott. And that should be fun. So more information will be coming out soon, I'm sure, as far as the scheduling is concerned. So definitely keep following us and we'll put out information as soon as we get it. Also, speaking of Hasbro, so we just also would like to express our condolences to the family of Ryan Goldner, our CEO. who has recently passed away from cancer. So we just want to extend our condolences and, pray and send love and light to the family and just hope that everything is okay. As of right now, Rich Stoddard is the interim CEO for Hasbro right now. So, with companies like that, normally what they'll do is they'll either vote on it because I'm pretty sure it's like a whole board, like a board of directors, like a board of people. And normally when stuff like this happens, they normally do a vote. And it's either they'll be like, well, we're just going to keep the interim person, which normally does end up happening. They just keep the interim person, or they vote and then they vote for an actual CEO of the company. So more than likely, they're probably going to end up keeping him if they don't vote. So, but right now, Mr. Stoddard is the actual CEO for right now. So once again, our condolences to the Goldner family. Also, speaking of just catastrophic events, our lovely ladies, Nakia, Burrise, and Catherine Sutherland, also had some bad things happening to them. I'm like, damn, whew, this retrograde is a bitch, isn't she? So Nakia Burrise expressed that she contracted COVID-19, and she expressed that she hadn't been doing well with it. She had a lot of things that actually happened to her, and that when she wakes up in the morning, she has to open her chest, just to be able to, breathe properly, to, be able to, function, which is crazy. Now, Catherine Sutherland also expressed that she also, went through COVID as well, but she didn't have as bad as symptoms as Nakia did. So that's good for her. But I just want to also send love and light and healing energies to them as well, in hopes that they, get better. And just as a reminder, people, please, even if you're vaccinated or not, please wear a mask in public and consider everybody else around you. We're still in a panini. You know what I'm saying? We're in a whole pan de queso, and people are just out here just acting like, we're back to normal. Hey, right. People are just like, I kid you not. People just are like, oh my God, it's over. And it's like, it's not. It's not. It's not. I promise you, it's not. We've gotten so many variants. Before you know it, we're gonna probably end up having to come out with a whole brand new vaccine because it just keeps mutating because people just don't want to wear a mask, and it's just like, oh God, or either get vaccinated, one of the two. And it's just like it's crazy. It's crazy. So once again, continue to protect each other, continue to, be mindful that this is still a thing. And let's be there for one another. Let's actually protect one another. And hell, if they do catch it, not vilify anybody. I think also too, that is a huge thing as well. It's scary. It's something that, that a lot of us, a majority of us, have never been through. We've never been through a pandemic before. What the hell? Who's been through a pandemic? Nobody. So this is brand new to everybody. And the state of, a pandemic is brand new to everybody. And, yes, there's a lot of conversation surrounding, okay, should we or should we not? What should we do? Should we get the vaccine? Shouldn't we get the vaccine? When is it okay to wear a mask? When is it not okay to wear a mask? We have so many conversations, and it's very easy for people to just be like, screw it. I'm done. I'm tired. And I get it. I really do. I understand exactly where they're coming from, but at the end of the day, we still have a responsibility as people, as human beings, to recognize, hey, it's not about me all the time. You know, it's not about me, no matter how tired I am or something. Especially with something like this, like a whole pandemic, like it's not just about what I feel at this point. Like at some point, we also have to be like, you know, we also have to have, you know, courtesy to other people and be like, hey, I may not feel like doing this, but also you over here. You know, you might not be, you know, be good. You're like, you might be having a whole, you know, underlying disease over here. And I'm over here just like walking around with no mask on, like, haha, you know, and talking to you all up in your face. You know, and I'm sitting here asymptomatic, and then I give it to you and you die. So, you know, it's like, it's crazy. Like, that's the kind of world we're in right now. It's like, we just have to be mindful and just be, you know, just be as courteous and kind to one another as much as possible. With that being said, I'm not going to be courteous and kind to these Super 7 figures. I'm just not. I'm not. You know. So Super 7, right? They know how to do some villains. They really do. Like, they know how to do villains and Zords. Because that Dragon Zord, like, I'm gonna need y'all to pull this up. Like, pull this up, babies. Because this Dragon Zord, though, I'm just sitting here like, this is gorgeous. Like, it's beautiful.
I love the missiles.
That's one of the things I like about it. Yeah, it's the missiles for me. You know, it's the accessories for me, the extra hands. It's the mini Green Ranger with the gold shield for me. Like, they just understand the assignment when it comes to non-human people. Like King Spinks, like he looks good. Like, you know, I fucks with him. Especially the other face where he's kind of like snarling. I love that. I love it.
The fact that they gave him more than one head, wow.
Right. That's what's been gagging me. I'm like, y'all actually went and gave him more than one head? Like, really? Like, y'all go all out. Then you get to Rita. First of all, can we get into Rita, though? Can we get into Rita and all these damn accessories? Like, first of all, it's not just that she don't have hands, and plenty of them. Sis got, I hope y'all caught that joke. But
I got it. I was like, oh, you know what?
She got hands, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, she got mad hands. But sis got the stethoscope. She got her wand. She got her perfume bottle, the green crystal.
Wait, is that perfume or is that the potion that she that made Zed fall in love with her?
It could be. Because I know, didn't she have a perfume bottle at one point too? That she was spraying herself? I could have sworn she did in NPR. Like, she was just like, or maybe that was a Japanese version thing that didn't show up in America. I don't know. But either way, she got that. The green candle. She got one head where she is like giving us like cringing Machika Soga. Because we've seen that face before. We've seen Rita make that face. That cringe, like, that cringing potty face. Like, oh my God. Like, I love it. I live for it. I love it. Like, I love it. And then you got, of course, her laughing face, the one that she always has. Right. Yes.
Oh man.
And we got that one. Now, I'm just gagging because then we got this random Kimberly head over here.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I didn't expect that.
I
didn't expect it.
That is Kimberly. I was like, that looks like Kimberly.
Yeah. It's
That's
from that
Kimberly.
season 2 episode where Zed kidnapped Kimberly because he wanted her to be his new queen.
Which I'm like, I don't see
that's so
how.
creepy looking back.
Which is also really creepy because
God.
isn't she like in high school?
Yeah, it's it also makes me think of that fanfic Agony in Pink, and that just scares me.
Girl, no. Don't ever bring that up. No. Whoever wrote that fanfic, you should be checked. You should be checked.
Wait, what is the fanfic about? What is that about?
God, well, I'll keep it really brief. Okay. Lord Zed captures, tortures, and kills Kimberly. Yes.
What?
Yeah, we don't need to go into detail.
No. I know.
Okay.
It's
right.
It's a lot. I'm just gonna say it's a lot. Like it's just like, sir, I don't know what, or ma'am, whoever you are, I don't know what you got going on, or what what is going on in your life that would make you write something like that. But I'm like, you are the type of person that would be on an episode of like Cold Case Files or something, or like Criminal Minds or something. Because it's like the stuff that happens in Agony in Pink, I'm like, sir, no. So yeah. But yeah, I personally was just like, they can do like villains and and Zords and monsters very well. They can do them, because I didn't even have a problem with the Tyrannosaurus. I thought the Tyrannosaurus was pretty good. But when it comes to these faces, girl, no. First of all, get into Jason. I just want to know why they got Jason from 2020, 2019, 2020 up here. Like that face. They got Jason looking like Jay Leno.
What is that facial expression?
I don't know.
It's like he's doing the lip fold thing where you fuck your lips in.
I don't know. And why they gave him this big ass Sonic coin hoop earring. Like they got Jason looking like a whole Italian gangster. Like, what is going on? He looked crazy. Like, oh my God. Like Jason did not look like that, y'all. Like y'all had to have been looking at a picture of Austin St. John in like 2019, 2020. Like y'all had to, because there's no way. Like Jason didn't look like that in Mighty Morphin. He didn't look like that in Zeo. He damn well didn't look like that in Turbo, because the Turbo movie. Ooh, child. Anyway, but he ain't look like that. He don't look like this. So I just want to get a good kind of gauge on what y'all looking at. But Rocky, I think Rocky actually looks decent.
Dirt. He has the dirt face.
He does have a dirt face. He does. But like it doesn't.
But it looks
Rocky
like him.
season, right? But Rocky season 1 was derpy. That's not season 1, season 2. He was derpy. Like he was just as like oblivious to their mission the entire time. Like Rocky was just like, I'm just here to have fun, and that's it. Like, so listen, the face of Rocky makes sense. Like he's derpy, and Rocky was derpy. So you know what? it makes sense. I'm here for it. I am here for it. I am happy. I'm happy with Rocky. But what I was expecting though, and it's just me. Now, how y'all gonna have a Rocky head and y'all ain't got the pachinko machine? Mm-hmm. Where is the pachinko machine?
I guess the dragon shield and all of those accessories are why.
It's like that came from one of Rocky's best episodes in season 2. Well, one of his only episodes in season 2. One of his.
They could have given him something since they gave Jason something.
I'm saying, I mean, especially since Rocky was red in season 2 and season 3, they could have put up a lab coat. They could have put
those oh my god, those tubes of liquid.
Exactly, the tubes of liquid, a football from that episode where his uncle who had a learning disability was helping his friend who also had the same learning disability, and he was also a football player. All of that, like, y'all could have. There was so many things you could have done for Rocky, and you only had to give us stuff for Jason. Come on, Super 7, y'all failing. Y'all failing. You're failing the assignment. You're failing. Like, I'm gonna give you a C. I'm gonna give you a C, but y'all kind of failing. Y'all failed in that one. But Pink, I think this Kimberly face, it's not that bad. I mean, she's smiling, which y'all know how I feel about smiling faces, but she's not bad. Like, what do y'all think? Do y'all think she's
I think
bad?
She looks better. She definitely looks better than the Lightning Collection.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I can see Amy Jo in that face.
Me too. Like, I'm zooming in on it. I definitely can see Amy Jo's face there. Like, I can see it. I can see her face for sure. I just wish she wasn't smiling. Like, damn, like, stop having her smile so damn much. But I mean, I can see it though. And what's with these Sonic hoop earrings? Oh my God, like, y'all got to stop with these Sonic ring earrings. Like, y'all got to stop. It's terrible. Stop it. But I will say though, PC is so much cuter here than the Lightning Collection. Do y'all think she's cuter or what? Like, I think she's cuter.
I don't remember how the other one looks.
I was just gonna say, I don't remember that either.
Oh, well, shit.
The other one is just a generic white cat, like with no sort of details on the face. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it's just a generic white cat, but his face was molded cute though. It was molded cute, and she had green eyes too. But this one, you can, like, there's a lot more detail, than the Lightning Collection. So I'm happy for that. Now, Cat. Why they got Cat looking like her name should be Karen?
Oh God. I don't know. That
Like,
doesn't look very good.
It doesn't.
It doesn't look like her.
It doesn't look like her at all. It does not look like Catherine Sutherland. Like, this is so disappointing. Like, y'all got all this stuff right. Like, y'all got Kimberly with the ribbon and all of that. Like, but y'all just stay messing up stuff like the small things. The small things. But regardless, now I would say what they should do with Catherine is they should have put a diving board.
Oh, God. Damn, you really thought that was funny. Shit.
I'm sorry. That was so funny.
Ooh, child, that's funny to me. Ooh, I'm sorry, but just tickled me. They were like, they tried to be like, Catherine can do anything. It was like, yeah, she can do anything but dive.
Oh God.
Ooh, ooh. Okay, Brandon, that's not nice. You stop that. Ooh. But yeah, so Super 7, y'all are not doing the things with the Rangers, but y'all killing everything else. Lastly, speaking of, killing everything else, because people are just being people. So according to, now I'm just reading through the comments because, a lot of times when stuff happens, people will just post randomly certain things and they don't have all the information. Speaking of what we were saying before, right? While we'll post certain things and be like, we'll list everything that happened and we'll even describe like talk about the person, who the person was and all that good stuff. Apparently, the person who posted the thing that we're going to talk about omitted some information and omitted some other things. I'm not sure of what the reason is. Maybe it's just a lack of just not knowing how to post about things, or whether they had a specific intent on what they wanted to do or say. So I'm not sure of what that what the situation was. However, basically, I'm pretty sure all of you, if you've been following, if you've just been doing research in general or just been on, the interwebs in general, you would probably have seen a post that was done by MMPR Grid Nation. And they were talking about Emma Lahana. Once again, Emma Lahana is the subject of conversation, and it's not good conversation. So they basically took a half screenshot of a picture and included the comment that a person left in Emma's response. The person said, "Sadness is that when see your childhood here's getting old. Sad face, sad face, sad face." I think what he was trying to say is sadness is that when you see your childhood hero getting old. That's what he was trying to say.
Yeah.
But
he can't even write that properly. I'm just saying.
Right. And when I tell you, I had to struggle to read that just now, but I'm like, okay, I understand what you're trying to say, baby. I understand. I get it.
I mean, we shouldn't have to understand. You should, if you're gonna go ahead and insult somebody, you might as well do it properly.
Listen, man. Like absolutely, but hey, it is what it is, right? So
Emma's response was the biggest, most awesome clapback ever.
I mean, the clapback was real. Emma goes, maybe grow up and stop watching a kid show from 15 years ago. Thumbs up. And I'm like, yeah. So basically they at first said that
Emma was insulting the fan.
Right. She was insulting the fan and and all this stuff, and that they found it off of, and that she was insulting them on Twitter. And obviously this picture and the comment and everything from it, obviously this is Instagram. But, I'm like, you know what? I'm not, who's going to argue semantics, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever, right? But here's my thing. And I don't know if y'all will agree with this or not. Here's my thing on this. When somebody, first of all, there is a certain level of misogyny, that there's an underlying level of misogyny here that I don't think that people really understand, or that people are really even cognitive of. I almost kind of feel like it's second nature for a lot of people, especially fans in this community, in this fandom. There is a certain level of misogyny here because this is a boy brand. And I, a lot of times, do feel like a lot of male fans will say anything to these women or say anything about these women. And it's like, oh, I can say that about them. But at the same time, I would never say that about, about a male actor in the show, unless in the case of Austin St. John, where everybody clowned him for gaining weight. But that's different. They're talking about his weight. And like they were clowning him because of something physically where it's like, oh, you gain weight. Well, maybe that might be the same thing. Maybe, yes, let's check that. That is the same thing. But
yeah.
I'm like, you know what? Let me stop that. I'm right. I was wrong. It is the same thing. But I definitely do think that there's a certain level of misogyny where it's like, no, we don't talk about their actual looks. Like, I mean, weight, yes, but looks, like nobody has ever came out and been like, oh, they were real cute at one point, and now, oh boy, look at them now. Like, nobody, like, male, like, they don't really do that to the male actors like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see it more often than not, the female actors that get it. Because a lot of times, like, I'll see with male actors, you'll see some stuff like, oh, they gained, like in Austin St. John case, it was his weight that was being attacked, right? Like, oh, he's gained weight. But not many people actually commented on him. Like, people don't comment on him. Where it's like, oh, he looks a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's his weight that people were talking about. But no one is there like, oh, he's ugly. Or, oh, he's getting old. Or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? And I really don't see many people actually doing none of the male actors that way. Because I'm going to tell you now, in my own little personal group chat, my friends, yeah, we talk about them on a team. But as a whole, I don't really see the fandom actually talking about the male actors. And it could be mainly because a lot of them are straight. Or then some of them are probably, on the queer spectrum and just don't want to say it out loud. However, I do find that a lot of women get degraded in this fandom in various ways, whether it's, like they get degraded sexually, where it's like, oh, like just hypersexualized, where it's like, oh my God, she's so sexy. Oh my God, she's so hot. I would love to see her naked. I would love to see her naked and all this stuff. Like, oh, when I would see plenty of comments from like back when Ninja Steel was happening and they were talking about Christiani. Oh my God, I'm like, you guys are disgusting. But anyway, it's stuff like that. Or either like in Emma Lahana's case, Emma Lahana just cannot get a break. And it's like, you're talking about somebody, oh my God, they're getting old. First of all, you never tell a woman that they're getting old. That is like the biggest, like, if you want to say fuck you to a woman, tell her she's getting old. Like, have you never heard of like, don't ask a woman's age? Because, like, let me tell you a little something about that. A lot of women, from my experience, from, talking to various women and just knowing a lot of women, from my experience talking to them, a lot of them, and maybe you can attest this, Lena, a lot of them, from what I've learned, feel like, especially when you hit that 30 mark, it's like, okay, time is winding down. For some women, it's like time is winding down. I have to find a husband or whatever. I have to have a child if they want children. I have to have a child. I have to do this. I have to do that. In the acting world, a woman's quote unquote career, if you will, in the entertainment world starts dying at 30. It's like, it's now or never. We got to do this now. Or it's never going to happen. With men, with me in the entertainment world, like, I could literally keep doing this forever. Like, case in point, there's so many actors that literally, male actors, who literally get their claim to fame when they're like 40. 40, mid 40s, late 30s. Like, they get their claim to fame at any time. Women, you have to hurry up and get it because there's a certain sexualization that women receive. You have to look a certain way. You have to be a certain way. You have to be a certain age, certain height, certain build. Women are very particular. So for a woman in the entertainment world to literally be called old, you know what I'm saying? He may not have meant it as, oh, I'm trying to verbally assault you, verbally insult you. Sorry, verbally insult you. But I do feel like there needs to be a certain cognitive mindset or just a certain understanding that you just don't say certain things. Like it's just, you just don't do that. And I just feel like people just don't know how to read the room anymore. Like there's just like no respect for just people in general. And I'm pretty sure that he didn't mean it like that. He probably really didn't. He probably didn't mean what he said. But still, you're also talking to someone who's constantly getting berated by the community. Constantly. Like, people will literally just pick a fight or try to pick a fight with her just because it's Tuesday. Oh, she doesn't like Power Rangers anymore. Leave her alone. If she doesn't want to rep the brand, she doesn't want to rep the brand. Leave her alone. You know, I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? Like, am I wrong? Like,
you're not wrong, and I think it's so super duper annoying that like people just can't move on from it. And the other thing is too is like, this is so. I need to remind everybody, and we've said this in the past. This is not very rangerly of you to be bullying other people or insulting other people. So if you want to talk about, how Emma Lahana does not want to represent the brand and how she doesn't want to be part of it, well, you know what? You all need to recognize what you're doing is not what the brand is even about, not what the show is even about.
I agree 100%. What were you going to say, Will?
I actually don't agree with you on him not knowing what he was doing. I actually don't think that he cared. That's just me. Like, I think he thought he could just say that publicly.
I agree with Will because like, and you know how you were talking about masculinity and how like, you know, like, anyways, point is that he definitely wanted to be heard. And he said what he said. And the thing was, he did not expect Emma to clap back. That's the problem. Yeah. And that's the problem with today's society. Like, I personally will have men say certain things to me, and they kind of, and when I do say something back, they have that like double like look. They're like, you can see on their face that they were not expecting me to make a comment.
Right.
The ones that want to continue get clap at, right? So then they'll make a comment like, "Oh, well, I didn't mean it like that. It was a joke." And I hate when they say that when it's a joke. So then of course I go, "Oh, I'm sorry. That's a joke? Oh, okay. I didn't realize that like is really funny. I missed the pun completely. Like, what part of it was it a joke?"
Right. And right, like where was the punchline? Because I don't know where it is.
Sorry, that was the word I was looking for. Yes, where's the punchline? You know, and so I genuinely do hate that, and that's the problem. And you're absolutely right. Where women ultimately, even in this brand, does get picked on all the freaking time, and I think that's women in general too. You know, like a perfectly good example is that I find myself at work where it's between me and my coworker who happens to be a male. He'll say the rudest thing to customers and no one will say anything back to him. But I say something and it's not even rude. I get, "Oh, you're so rude." That wasn't even rude. Why? I don't understand what that is. I don't understand why is it okay to pick on a female, or well, what do you think a female was not going to do? Like, I just feel like we're in 2021. and more females need to speak up. I'm very fortunate that I've always spoken up for what I genuinely believe in, and I clap back so hard, and I get all kinds of comments. My favorite one is like, "Oh, I did not expect such a powerful or strong voice. I can't remember what she said, coming from such a tiny body." And I was like, "What? What the fuck is that supposed to mean?"
Like, oh, only tall people are supposed to be.
Right? Like I
like,
remember.
what?
Well, let me tell you, this Asian here, she's Aquafina. She's gonna be speaking loud. Aquafina, you know.
I love it. I love it. No, and it's like dead ass. Like it's to me, and just like I said, like I've just noticed, and I'm pretty sure you guys are right that he probably was just like, I'm just gonna say it and just call it a day. The only reason why I'm like, I kind of feel like maybe it wasn't quite that is because a lot of times some people are just so socially just unaware. You know what I'm saying? Like there are times where some people, especially in this fandom, some people are just completely just socially inept. Like they just don't understand social cues. At first, I didn't quite understand it at first because like I would be talking to people on Instagram, before we started doing Tribunal, I would be talking to people and I would be literally getting so upset because I'm just like, what is wrong with you? Like, I mean, it's just like people would just say just the most random stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, like what? But then like when I started actually doing this, like when we started actually like really doing Tribunal of the Grid, I actually started to realize I'm like, oh, you might not have understood. You may be like not really good with social cues. And so I'm like, that's why I try to genuinely try to hold space. I try. But if it's some wild shit, I'm like, no. I ain't letting you slide with that. Like, socially awkward or not, I'm not letting you slide with that because no. But with this particular situation, I do kind of feel like maybe he probably didn't mean it like that. I mean, it still was insulting what he said. Absolutely. Like, I'm not negating that at all. But I do kind of feel like it may have been a situation where he didn't quite know exactly how to say what he was trying to say.
Yeah,
and it just, and it, because it was just because what cued it for me was the misspelling of words.
Okay,
That's what cued it for me. I was like, something's not right. And that's why I'm like, you know what? Maybe it is that. Maybe it is. And, that's why I'm like, I'm going to try to hold space. It's Emma Lahana. It's Emma Lahana. Like, Emma Lahana, she's like the honey badger. She doesn't give a fuck. Like, I mean, she doesn't give a shit. Like, at all. Like, it is what it is. And fans, I really, like you said, Will, I agree with you 100%. I do think that fans literally do try to pick a fight with her just because. Like, literally just because. I really do agree with that. I do think that fans really do just pick fights with her. And it's like, but why? Why? Like, the woman already said, like, she doesn't, it's not that she hates the show. Like, she doesn't. But you still have fans that
she just doesn't think about it much.
Exactly. She did it over 15 years ago. Exactly. Like, it's
and she's not a part of the fandom. She tried, but that,
well, because people are weird. People are being weird to her, just like they've been weird to our lovely Patricia. That's why she don't come around. Like, it's like when y'all, it's like some fans, when some actors or especially actresses try to be nice, some fans just literally take that inch and they try to take the whole goddamn ruler. And it's like, these women are not your girlfriends. Like, you can't just be saying all kind of stuff and trying to touch them and all this. Like, chill out. Like, no. And I really do think that a lot of times, and I've heard from women all the time. I hear from women all the time. they always say we have it hard. We have it hard. And I agree with them 100%. They really do have it hard because it's like you constantly have to deal with just bullshit from just other men, like misogynistic laws, like attack on the woman's body consistently. Like it's just all out war. And it's like, I get why women are so frustrated. I get why you have Emma constantly attacking fans who always want to say something about her. I get it. If y'all would just leave her alone, we wouldn't have this issue. We wouldn't have it. And she would be just fine. Just leave her alone. And that's my rant for the night. And that's my rant. Because we have plenty of other ranting to do in just a bit. But before we start, I would just also like to let the people know that we will be once again reviewing Dino Fury episodes 12 and 13. We will be doing just a quick little run through, a quick little something, just to let y'all know we watch the show and give y'all our opinions on it. So, once again, if this is what you came here for, I do apologize. We belabored. And you want to actually get to the Dino Fury stuff, I apologize. Here we are. So yes, we're going to talk about episode 12 right now. So first of all, overall thoughts on this episode. Like not no details or anything like that, just overall thoughts. What did you think?
Go ahead, Will.
I enjoyed I enjoyed them. I enjoyed 12 last week. I love that who was the lady? Coach Bella. I love that she was an asshole and she stayed an asshole. Like she didn't have any redemption. Because there's some bad people in the world and they don't learn their lesson all the time.
Right.
So I appreciated that. And then also I love that they reintroduced Fern, who was Izzy's rival track athlete. And they even mentioned her ankle injury. And then they
didn't forget it.
And then they also introduced Adrian, who they both will be a part of the next episode coming up, and maybe future episodes. I don't know, but I appreciated that. And then for the second episode is the big one that we've been anticipating for a while. For people who haven't watched it yet, right. That episode, it didn't really hit me like I think it would have if I didn't know that it was happening, And I really wish that I didn't know, because it's like I haven't seen the episode, but I've seen, GIFs and photos of the episode. So it's like I know what's going to happen. Right. But and I read the synopsis too. Just like I wish that they didn't do it the way that they did. I wish that there was a way that they could just air the episodes at the same time, domestically worldwide and internationally. Yeah. But because of that, it's like it really spoiled me, and I don't really have that many thoughts on the episode because it's just like we already had a big conversation about it,
Right. But I mean, now we can actually talk about the episode itself. Like,
I definitely was not expecting that.
Oh, what? Not expecting what?
Like the episode. Like I didn't know what to expect, to be honest with you. But like the way that Coach Bella, the way she came about, I was actually expecting something else. But the watch thing was what really was like, oh, that's off. Like it was just the way she said it. I was like, that seems so off. And the fact that like, okay, for me, like overall, like, okay, you know what? Like I'm gonna get into it. But yes, my overall thought was that was interesting. I was not expecting that.
Episode 12 for me I had some issues with episode 12. I had some issues with episode 12, mainly with Coach Bella. But for the most part, for me, episode 12 was just kind of like, it was steady. Like it was something that it was still enjoyable. It wasn't nothing, it was nowhere near like your Ninja Steels or hell, even some of your Beast Morphers, when Beast Morphers started declining. It was nowhere near any of that. So I'm like, okay, excellent, wonderful job, people. Episode 12 was just like, some things needed to be tweaked. That I was like, this just ain't, it's not hitting the way it's supposed to hit. However, episode 13, I actually liked it. Like, I that's one of those episodes that I could just watch again and again and again and again and again. Like, it just, to me, it handled everything very well. Like, even, there was even a bit of like harassment in there that just made me go, oh, Power Rangers, you went there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, yo, like, I'm really enjoying this. So episode 13 for me is just like, it's up there. Like, I mean, it for me went from like with episode 12, it was like, okay, to like, oh, okay, on episode 13. So I don't know, but that's my opinion. That's my opinion on it. If I had to, do them like that, I would say episode 12 was like, okay. But then episode 13 was like, y'all did that. So I can see why Simon Bennett was like, that's my favorite one. Because you can tell they put their whole foot in there. Like, it was just like, they was like, we trying to do everything up in here. So I loved it. I love episode 13. But let's get into it. Let's just go ahead and get into it. So episode 12. So basically we're not going to go like beat by beat, but we're just going to talk about specific things. But basically, with episode 12, the whole idea, the whole synopsis of this episode is basically Coach Bella, Izzy, wanted to join this gym. She wanted to join Planet Fitness. And
well, she made it sound like it's more high scale than Planet Fitness.
Okay, Equinox. She wanted to join Equinox. And and she was telling her daddy, like, Dad, I want to join this gym. You know what I'm saying? Like, Coach Bella is the ish. And, Javi is like, yeah. And like pump her up. You know what I'm saying? There was a cute little moment in there with Izzy trying to give Zato a high five, and he punched her hand. I thought that was hilarious. But, he's like, trying to tell her, she's like telling him all about this gym. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. They go to the gym. And, they meet Coach Bella. First of all, thoughts on Coach Bella. Like, I'm going to tell y'all right now, she got on my nerves.
And that was the idea. That was the idea, right?
But I get that, but also, like, she ain't had to do me like that. Like, I promise you, people like that in real life makes me anxious. Like, they really do make me anxious. Like, I feel like there's something on the other side of what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And it just makes me feel very uneasy. So when she came into the picture, I automatically was like, ooh, no. Like, if I was there, I probably would have turned around and walked right back out. Like, literally, I wouldn't have even stayed. I would have just turned around and walked right back out. Because people like that kind of energy, I'm like, no.
Just do some coke before she came out.
I'm telling you, sis took a whole bump, like a whole bump.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure sis is in this office, like, nose bleeding and everything.
God.
Like,
damn.
She do the most. Like, it's too much. But what you were saying, honey, I'm sorry.
So when she came on, I'm like, okay, this is a lot. And you what are you doing? What are you trying to portray right now? Because it was like some of the acting we got, in previous years. But as it went on, I guess she was purposely delivering it like that. But as it went on,
sure,
it got better. It got a lot better. That first impression was like, you're doing a lot. And I guess like from the acting standpoint and also from like, I guess the character standpoint too, this is a lot and it's really corny, which also I think, was purposely supposed to be like that. Yeah, it was just a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah, like, child, no. I couldn't. But what you was gonna say, Lena?
Oh my God. Okay. So when she was introduced, at first I was like, oh, she seems like nice. But then the moment she spoke, I was like, oh, I don't know about you. But what cringed me the most was when she, was all like, oh, like at first it just seemed very genuine. Like, this is like a free trial, which is great. We're all about those free trials. And she was really telling everybody, really encouraging them, which really seemed like, that's essentially what, most personal trainers or coaches are ideally all about, right? Obviously, everyone has their own point of view of what they feel like would succeed, right? And for a lot of people, praising them is what's going to help them succeed, which is great. So I was like, okay, I'm all for that. Like she seemed like she's really it. And then the other thing is too, when how like Izzy was all like, she's the coach and like, I want to train with her. I was actually really hoping that they would give me more of a backstory of why she's the coach. And I say this like, for example, so like if she was like a track and field star or an Olympian or like, like something, right? But they didn't give us a backstory on what she was so great about. So when they got to the gym, I was really hoping that they would kind of give us a little something at that point where why Izzy really wants to train with her, right? But there was still no backstory. So I'm thinking to myself like, okay, so whoever this person is, you don't even know, but yet you want to give her your money? You want her to train you? That's interesting. So I kind of want, I go with what Brennan was saying, like, was it Planet Fitness you guys all got? Like, that's what it seems like to me. Because she was not special. She was not special by any means. And then she did the most geezy thing ever by literally going, well, if you give me that watch, I'll give you a uniform. I went, and what?
Yeah.
That
was something else.
Shook that Izzy saw that, Zato saw that, but mind you, again, Zato is an alien, so he doesn't really entirely understand the customary, but like you can tell, like he was like, that does not seem right, like at all. But Izzy knew better, and Izzy was like, well, you know what, like it's worth it. I'm sorry, I don't give crap. If you're training, you do not need a uniform. You just need clothes that will help you, allow you to do your full, like perform the ability to the best of your ability. So that was so unnecessary. And I was really shook that like they were all like, yeah, let's buy the uniform. And when they kept saying expensive, I was really hoping they would say how expensive it was, because I'm thinking, okay, expensive. Like how expensive are we talking? Because that watch looked like it was worth way more than that uniform did. So that was the other thing, right? Because I'm like, I feel like this whole value of training here just seems so far off right now. Like, how expensive is this? Is expensive? Is it like $100 expensive? Because this is the part where it threw me off. Do you remember when Izzy like ruined her uniform and she needed a new one? And everyone was like, oh, let's see what we got in our wallet. Maybe we can help you out. I shit you not, Chance handed her a dollar bill.
Yep.
What? I didn't see that.
Sure did.
I'm sorry.
I'm also sitting here like, where is this money that Zato is getting? Like, where is he getting this money from? Because Zato ain't got no job.
Right? I was thinking the same thing.
Maybe I was thinking that too. Maybe Solon is able to make money or something.
I was like, where is he signing up for this gym with what money? But I was like, you know what? That's not really important right now. I do not care for Zato and his money. That's a whole new different like topic for a different day. What I want to know is how expensive this damn uniform was, because I swear that was a dollar bill. Okay, that was a whole dollar bill. How far are you getting with this whole dollar bill? So then that's what it really got me thinking, like, how expensive is this uniform? Because this guy's trading in his whole watch. Meanwhile, like Javier's is heading her a dollar bill. And they were looking into the wallet to see what money they got. Let's all be honest here. If you're looking at my wallet, I probably have a $10 bill. You're not getting far with a $10 bill, especially with this quote unquote expensive uniform. So as a whole, I just thought that is an interesting topic. And why is that not being discussed further as to how expensive this real expensive means?
Wouldn't most things be, I mean, I guess depending on how well off the kid's parents are, but wouldn't most things be expensive for a kid, for a high school kid?
I mean, yes, but you have to remember though, like everyone else was an adult except for Izzy. That's what it seems like anyways.
Yeah, that's the case. Like, I also was wondering how expensive is, and the fact that everybody had something, like everybody chipping in. So 4 people chipping in. I guess maybe she did have something of her own left over. Actually, maybe not, because I think she used like her whole advance on her allowance to get it. So I don't know, but like for at least the 4 to be able to get it together, I wonder like how much. I do wonder how much those uniforms cost.
Yeah, because my whole thing is, I'm like, first of all, and I know you said, Lena, you ain't gonna talk about it, but doggone it, I got questions. First of all, how in the world is Zato able to afford anything? I'm like, shoot, I understand that dude probably got everything he needs on the ship, so he probably ain't hurting for food and clothes and all that good stuff. But I'm sorry, like, bro, you talking about doing a whole, like, you talking about paying for a membership, and even he was like, that's kind of expensive. How do you know? I
was thinking the exact same thing. Like, how does he know that's expensive? Like, what does that even mean?
What does that even mean? Sir, how do you have more experience with money than Izzy does? And Izzy is an actual human. Like, I'm confused. Can someone please help me? I'm confused. That, and also, my thing is, and y'all already said it, but it bears repeating. Red flag on the play. We need a uniform to work out. I'm sorry. All I put on when I go to the gym to work out is some shorts and a t-shirt. That is all you need. And not only that, the people in the background though, like, and maybe they were doing the free trial too, but I'm sorry, it would have been a lot more, I guess, a lot better to see the actual people in the background, like the extras in the background, actually wearing the uniforms too, to make it kind of like make more sense. Because now it looks even more shady that you being like, yeah, come on and join Gold's gym. And now you got to go ahead and put on a uniform with it. And it's like, first thing I would have done is I would have been like, are they doing the free trial too? Because they ain't got no gym uniform on. Like, extras in the back, dude got on a whole lime green t-shirt. I'm like, so what's the tea? Like, not everybody got these uniforms on. So why we got to wear uniforms? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just weird. Like, I would have, and also major flag on the play. Sis was like, she looked down at dude watch and was like, well, you can give me that watch. I would have been like, girl, fuck you. Period. Like, no, I'm not giving you my granddaddy watch. Well, if you really are serious about this, you know,
some
like
bullshit.
I'm like, no, flag on the play. Like, I was just like, no, that Coach Bella, and that's why I feel like, which we're saying at the very beginning, Will, where you were like, you feel like she was played and she like playing it a certain way on purpose. Dead ass. When I was watching this episode, immediately when she came in like, all right, guys, yeah. When she came in like that, I automatically knew something was wrong. I automatically knew. Because I'm like, something in the milk ain't clean. Because people, I've lived in LA for 10 years. I have seen so many people do startup programs, so many people doing pyramid programs. Like, I've seen it all, and they all act the same exact way. Every one of them. Oh my let's do it. You guys ready? Ha ha. You know, like they all do the same thing. And I'm like, That's why, like, when anybody does that to me, immediately I shut down. Either I shut down or I leave. Because I'm like, I already know what this is. I know what this is. You're way too happy right now. I know what this is. There's something on the other end of this that I do not want. And I kid you not, that is exactly what happened. And it was that red flag when she was like, you can give me your watch. I'm like, nope.
Yeah, who does that?
Who does that? Who does that? No, honey. Honey. I was like, no, I'm good. I'm good on you, boo.
He's a whole teenager.
He is a whole teenager. Of course he's going to say, here, you can have it. Of course he would.
She's a horrible human being.
She's terrible. She is terrible. Oh, I'm like, no, baby, no. And I felt so bad for him because he was like, my granddaddy gave me that watch. I'm like, oh, no. Like, I just knew. I was like, oh, my God. Like, she's awful. But, yeah, so Miss Coach Bella, she's full of shit. And that part, we're going to fast forward a little bit. That part where Izzy came back, because after they fought or whatever, first of all, Slider blasted her and ripped her uniform, which I'm like, what kind of material that thing made out of? Because they regular clothes be getting blasted all the time. And their regular clothes don't tear. So I'm like, what type of flimsy material that mess made out of? I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, that it is made with a very flimsy material anyway, so it can rip, so Coach Bella can be like, go buy another one. So you can go ahead and give me more coins.
Wow. That's probably that. Wow. This season I can see, this season I can see them putting like a little extra detail like that in there.
Mm-hmm. Because you see how fast she looked at that uniform and was like, ooh, you might need to get another one. Because, you know, in order to train right, you need to be dressed right. Or whatever that bull she said. I guarantee you it is made. Because seriously, like literally, what was that? Episode 3? When Zato had got slashed by that alien, by that alien that made him freeze, and then she slapped the shit out of him. Like, his clothes didn't rip, and he had on a whole Hanes cotton shirt. And his clothes didn't rip. So what kind of material is her uniform made out of? Come on now, something milky and clean. Like, them costumes, them little track outfits probably made of plastic. No, no, girl, bye. But anywho, that little part where Izzy came back with the money or whatever to go give Coach Bella to, you know, buy her uniform. First of all, and that's the scene that I was referring to when I said that that something needed work. This is the scene that I was talking about. When she came in and was like, oh, well, here's the money for the uniform, blah, 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 blah. And Coach Bella is just basically vomiting all this unnecessary information. I'm sitting here like, see, ma'am, you're not a really good scammer. You're not. You're terrible. You're terrible at what you do. Because let me tell you why. Let me tell you why you're terrible. Because first of all, why the hell would you tell somebody what the hell you're doing when you're actually trying to like get them into the fold? You want to, if you're going to try to scam, you want to try to get them on your side first before you actually tell them about the scam. You don't tell them about the scam first and then be like, well, why you ain't going to do it? Duh, because I'm scamming people, you dumbass. Like, it just really bothered me how and it was just the typical Power Ranger way, obviously, of just, you know, just letting people just vomit everything, you know, because like Power Rangers does this all the time, where it's just like, you know, we have to expose the truth or whatever. But it's like, you could have done it in a more organic way, and this just wasn't organic to me. Like, there is no human said ever would do something like that. Like, nobody would. Like, nobody who is a genuine scammer would literally tell you that they're scamming people and while trying to invite you in. Like, they wouldn't do that. Nobody would. You know what I'm saying? So that part bugged me. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That part for me made the episode go way down because this is an important scene. Now, had it been a situation where Izzy was about to walk into the office like, yeah, I'm about to buy my uniform. Yeah. And then she walk in and she overhears Coach Bella telling someone on the phone, yeah, those kids are stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, those kids are stupid. Yeah, they're just sitting here just paying me all this money for these memberships, and I'm just sitting there ripping every last one of them off. You know what I'm saying? Like, that to me would have been like, boom, now Izzy can walk in, catch her, tell her how much of a piece of shit she is. Boom, it's done. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have liked that more because to me, that's more organic. You know what I'm saying? To me, even though that's still contrived because it's like, oh, she just had to all of a sudden just walk in while Coach Bella is spilling her tea. But at the same time, I still don't like the way that this is being portrayed because it's just like nobody would literally just fuck themselves over like that. Nobody would do that. So I do feel like even though it's a little more contrived, I do feel like the alternative to this would have been better in this aspect because I just didn't believe that at all. I really didn't. I did not believe that Coach Bella would be that stupid. That's just me. Because I'm like, Coach Bella has apparently been doing this for a minute. So it's like, girl, like you that dumb? Like,
yeah, she's had
I
a
just
lot
don't
of
believe
success.
that. Right.
She's
I'm
scammed
like,
a lot of people.
Exactly. I just don't believe that if you had this much success and you scammed this many people, it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense for her to do that. So yeah, that was my biggest issue with the episode for me. That was the biggest issue. But I mean, anything else from this episode that you guys like want to hit on, want to touch on?
No, I'm good.
Well, it was cool to see Warden Garcia again. I was hoping to see him. I mean, I didn't want to see it, but I think for story purposes, if he was mean to Javi again, because it seems like they had that moment where he was just horrible to him, and now we're just gonna forget about that.
Well, I mean, listen, he ain't gonna do it in front of Izzy. Well, no, he did do it in front of Izzy. My bad, never mind.
Yeah, and then where the hell is Ali's mom? I really miss her.
True.
Was there anything else? Oh, Zato, he still doesn't know how to do a pound.
Yeah. Like she was trying to do a high
fist
five
bump.
and he punched her hand. It's like, no, that's not.
I like that they, I like that they still have that. They're still showing how awkward he is with like human interactions and customs.
Yeah.
And the Slithers hijacking the Ranger hotline thing, I thought that was that was actually a good idea.
You know what? And I'm glad you brought that up, Will, because that fight scene, it was very reminiscent to MMPR to me. I don't know if you guys felt that way, but
which one?
Like the scene where they destroy the hacking phone or whatever. First of all, Mucus trying to imitate Zato's voice is hilarious. That's great. But that scene where you had the Rangers, all 5 Rangers, attacking with the Dino daggers, which I'm like, I'm like, which is a fantastic callback. It's like, yes. So I'm trying to figure out. So the Dino daggers we can just throw, and do they come right back to you? Like, how does this work? But apparently you can just throw them like daggers, and it's like, all right, cool, whatever. But the one thing I really liked about about the scene is that it felt very reminiscent to MMPR to me, because what would normally happen during a fight scene with a monster? every time in the footage, you would always have two Rangers jumping up in the air and throwing their weapons. And then you see another set of Rangers jumping up in the air with their weapons. And then the last final person jumped in the air and then they hit him with their weapon. And that's pretty much almost exactly what happened.
Okay.
Because you had red, blue, and pink. They threw their weapons. Then black threw his. And then Izzy did a tumble. And then she threw hers. And I'm like, oh, that was actually kind of cool. That was clever, guys. I like that. And maybe they were just doing that just to show off the Dino daggers. And they were like, you know what, whatever. But I genuinely felt like that was a throwback to me. Like, because honestly, seasons haven't done that as of lately. They really haven't. Hell, even the Japanese versions haven't done that kind of sequence in years, where they're just like, two Rangers will, do their thing, and then two more do their thing, and then the last person will finish them off. Like, they don't do that anymore. So the fact that Dino Fury pulled this stunt, that was actually really cool. I was like, oh, y'all been doing y'all homework, I see. I like that.
And I actually, it's coming up in the next episode. I actually got vibes from an MMPR fight scene in the next one.
Okay.
We'll get to
that's episode 13. So, episode 13, right? This is the one, obviously, that everybody been talking about. The one that we were referring to earlier, where it was like, oh, the gay, right? So this episode basically picks up, basically following up off of episode 12, because obviously at the end of episode 12, basically Izzy told Coach Bella to fuck herself, and Coach Bella walked away like the evil person that she is, and told everybody that she's going to be running the classes from now on. So, well, not running the classes, but she's going to be doing, the training. So basically, it opens up with everybody, exercising, getting the exercise on. And, and they get attacked by the same monster from the previous episode. But this time, Slider does something a little special. He puts a little magic on it to trick the Rangers into believing that, they were actually foot soldiers, henchmen, when they were actually, fighting each other. So, they end up getting rid of that. But here is the thing.
Brain. Oh my God. I just realized that reminds me of another one, Putty on the Brain.
Oh, Putty on the Brain. Season 2. Love that. That was a good one, actually. I really liked that episode. Yeah. But, and a little sidebar, little fact there. Tweet actually, that was during the time where Tweet twisted her ankle. Or twisted her knee, one of the two. It was her knee, right? It was her knee. Yeah. Yeah, that was during the time when Tweet twisted her knee, and that's why you didn't really ever see her fighting during that scene.
Yeah.
Booyah! They fought, and then after they were done, Red, Blue, and Pink were like, "We're out of here." Bah. They left, and Black and Green were like, Izzy was all upset about her little training going bad. Javi was like, well, we can go to lunch. She was like, no, well, I'm going to go with Fern, whatever. First of all, the way they are handling this, it was just so matter of fact. Like, it was just like, she wasn't trying to hide anything. It was just like, oh, I'm just going to go be with my girl. That's all. You know what I'm saying? It was just so organic. It was so organic. And I'm like, yes, Power Rangers, you're doing the shit right. Now, what kills me, though, it was like, you're doing it right, and then you hit me with this. Not even a few seconds later, Javi calls Adrian, who obviously is Slider, calls Slider. And it's like, well, thinking he's talking to Adrian. And he's like, well, don't tell Izzy, keep it on the DL.
I wonder if they did that on purpose.
They totally did that on purpose. They did that on purpose. I'm sitting here, and when I tell you, I watched that scene like a good 3 times and hollered each time. I'm like, now Power Rangers, don't do this. Now don't do this. Y'all just basically blatantly telling us that, oh yeah, this show is mad gay. This episode gonna be mad gay, honey. Because it was
That's hilarious.
I hollered. Y'all have no idea how much I hollered at that. That was the funniest thing to me. And then not to mention when they actually get to the place, to the little taco stand, and Javi pulls Fern to the side, and Fern is like, honey, I don't date boys. Boom! I said,
that was straight
Rangers!
to the point. Wow.
I'm like, Power Rangers!
Oh my God. Like, and I'm just thinking, like, if I didn't know what the hell was going on, I would have been shocked to hear that.
Gagging. When I tell you I was gagging, I'm like, oh, this is what we doing. Power Ranger. I'm like, oh my God. This show is actually doing the things and doing it right, bitch. Like, what is it giving? Like what did y'all have these same moments? Like,
I mean, like I said, it's like it was totally ruined for me because I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't know how it would happen.
Right.
All I keep thinking is like, looking back on these lines and some of these moments, it's like, damn, to watch this without any prior knowledge would have been so much more exciting because we never seen this before.
Ever. As a Ranger fan, it's like, this is not something you typically would see in Power Rangers. Like the things they were saying, like the jargon that is being used, just everything about it was just so, like, you could tell that this is happening like of today. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not something that happened, that this is happening like, oh, back in like it's happening present day, but they're talking like they're in 1995. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that. Like, this is very like, like this is very now. Like, this is very current. These are definitely kids of today, the young people of today. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is very that. And I just find it very interesting that they're actually using conversation and they're actually making these characters feel human and like act like actual real people. Like, I love that. Like, I fucking love that. And I'm like, Power Rangers, you are doing it and you are doing it right. Like, I love it. I loved it. The next part that got me though was it went from 0 to 100 real fast, because I'm telling you right now, I was not expecting them to do this. Like, I mean, they've done this before, but and many times they've done this in Power Rangers. But to me, I don't know whether y'all felt this, but there was a certain feeling of harassment that kind of crept over this scene, especially with Izzy's response right after. Because you could tell Izzy was freaked when when Adrian turned into Slither and tried to like grab her, and she, maneuvered out of it and kicked him away and teleported off. Her reaction in the command center, for me,
yeah, I really like that. Yeah,
I loved it, but it also had that air of like she just escaped harassment, like she just literally escaped, like, it was just like, oh wow, like this is really feeling kind of. I wasn't expecting them to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because like in typical Power Rangers, like when someone, kind of like gets pulled off by like a villain or something, it's normally like, I was attacked by, whomever. I was attacked by Godar, or I was attacked by, Rito or somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they would normally say. But they would never have that kind of reaction that Izzy had, where Izzy was just like, she was freaked. Like, she was like, oh my God.
Yeah. I wonder if it was because of, her new friend who she's, spent time with and has a certain connection with in Adrian. The fact that with his face and his voice, Slither was saying like, I like you, I'm in love with you. And maybe that like shook her especially because she doesn't like him like that, and she doesn't like boys.
Right.
Maybe that could have been why.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it easily could have been that for sure. It easily could have been that way. I just find it that to me, I just find that it was just like, it was just so, I don't know, like it just felt like it was hitting different. Like it was just, and I think that if she would have played it like how they normally would have played it back in the day, where like I said, if somebody attacked them, they'll be like, oh, they'll be in the command center, or they'll go to the juice bar and be like, hey, so I was just attacked by so and so. And it's like, oh no, like what happened? It's like, that's literally what would happen. You know what I'm saying? And on this, it was like, you got Izzy freaked out, and Amelia over in the background, like, oh my God, like he is so disgusting. Like, I mean, like literally, like Slifer is some sort of pervert. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's what changed the whole feel. And that's why I'm feeling like, dag, like Power Rangers, like y'all really what are y'all trying to do? Handle sexual harassment now? Like, I mean, it was just, that's really what it felt like to me. That is really what it felt like. And I was like, oh, wow. Which literally added to the tension with the part where, her and Javi got into it, where she was like, you had no right to do that. And I was like,
pissed. I loved it.
When I tell you, I was literally sitting there on the edge of my seat, like I was watching Law and Order SVU. I'm like, I have never seen Power Rangers do this before. Like the last time we've seen Power Rangers give some damn good acting was RPM. That was like the last time we've gotten like performances like that was RPM. I'm like, that's RPM level acting right there. I'm like, you better act your ass off, Tessa, because she was pissed. Like, it was just, I'm like, girl, you doing this. Like, Tessa is the moment, okay? She is the moment, okay? Like, let's just call it what it is. She is the moment. Sis was just, she was in it, and she just was letting Javi have it. I really,
oh my God, when she came up behind him, when he was on the ransom call with Slither, because, they know that that he has Adrian. I would have loved if she would have hit him. Because I think that would have been realistic.
Okay, because she was mad.
Yeah.
She was mad.
The way she came up behind him, I thought she was going to like club him on the back or something.
Or push him. Or something like, oh, you get on my nerves, Javi. Like, I mean, that's really the energy she was giving. She was really giving the energy of like, oh, you get on my damn nerves. And she even kind of had that air when she was just like, even though I'm mad at you right now, we still gonna help you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just like, oh, God, I love this cast.
I love that throughout the entire scene, she just had that look of like frustration and anger just stayed on her face.
It stayed there. I mean, sis was mad. Sis was mad. And Javi with his puppy dog face, like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my God, I love this. I love this. Like, both of them did really well in this scene. Like, both of them really did. I enjoyed that. Now, I'm sorry, but Zato in this old lady costume sent me. I am so sorry. Like,
this was like, this reminded me a little of what Lightspeed.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And wait, there was Kelsey who was the old lady. Kelsey was the old lady, and and everybody else was just pretending to be other random people. But that's really interesting that they just keep adding old ladies into these special missions. I just find that very interesting. But this time it was Zato being an old lady flipping with a walker. I'm like, okay, sir. But yeah, they end up fighting, typical Power Ranger shit. Speaking of typical Power Ranger shit, so I think, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. that stunt double who was doubling for Izzy during the fight scene with Slither, not the one on the bench, but the one which they were on the steps. I think that's the same stunt double who's been doubling for all the women for the past like basically 28 years. 20,
dang,
like 20
even
years.
Wow.
Like he's like, I think that guy has doubled for like Aisha, Tanya, Cassie. Like he's doubled for all of them. Like if you look at the body type, like because I've noticed him because his fighting style, he does a lot of flipping. And if you notice, like every double that he's done, like they've all those women characters. Like if you notice their fighting style, they all fight almost the same way. They all do. They all fight very rough, like that rough flipping style and all that stuff. Like they all do practically almost the same moves. So I think that's him. But I was like, oh snap! Like that's not her typical double this time. That's interesting.
The fact that you notice these things, wow. I have the nerve.
Listen, you're also talking to somebody who like loves stunts. Like I love this stuff. I eat this stuff alive. Like I love it. So I just go back and just watch like Zio and Turbo. And I guarantee you, like you'll notice, like the same double who was doubling for Tanya also doubles for Cassie because they both almost do the same exact fight styles. Mm-hmm. It's so interesting. I love it.
I now remember. I guess it happened already. The scene where they were fighting in the mist. That reminded me of oh my god, the second episode of Mighty Morphin, the teamwork when they were in the alternate dimension for the bones.
Oh, and they were fighting bones.
Reminded me of that. Yeah.
I can see that. Like they've been doing a lot of what feels like throwbacks to to other seasons. Like I really do notice that. Like they've been doing a lot of that. That's what it feels like, which makes me feel like Simon is really being very particular with what he does in the show, and I like that. But he also has said, like, he does a lot of research. Like he's done like a lot of research. I forget what interview. I think that was an interview with when he interviewed with the dude from Illuminati. I forget his name, but because he works for comicbook.com, I believe. But he interviewed with him, and he was basically saying like, he basically would watch seasons on Netflix and kind of like get his information. So and he was talking about how like the show was coming off of Netflix, so he wouldn't be able to do it anymore. So it was like that's just very interesting to me that he's taking so many notes of like, this is what this show is, kind of a thing. I really appreciate that with Simon Bennett. I really do. So basically they destroy the monster and also did a new battle mode, and now here comes the big finish, right? So Javi walks up to Adrian. It's like, yo, Adrian, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought you was interested in my sister. And dude was like, man, don't even worry about it, man. Besides, like, she already liked somebody. And he was like, what? He was like, look over there. And he was like, oh. And they turn and they see Izzy and Fern. She was like, you want to go get some Red Lobster? She was like, sure, girl, let's go get some. And child, well, she didn't say Red Lobster, but she was just like, but she was just like, you want to get some food? And she's like, yeah, girl, what you want? Look, I like Japanese food. You like Japanese food because you Asian, girl? Yeah. And
oh, God, what is wrong with you?
Because it's Brennan being Brennan. Are you surprised? Like, are you ever surprised anymore? Do you not hear commentaries? I don't understand why you're surprised.
Listen. Don't pay me no mind. I promise.
Can we talk about can we talk about the reactions of everybody? Because
What?
Adrian looked like
Oh
he
yeah.
was like drooling, like he was fantasizing right there.
Shit, he probably was.
He
It's
probably was,
like,
yeah.
ooh. Adrian had that look of
Yo, he
like,
was into it,
ooh.
man. Oh my god!
He's like,
And then
yeah.
everybody else was so happy too. Like that was really cool to see Zayto's alien ass happy as hell for his
Right.
friend. Because
Like, and I mean,
that's all that matters.
that really is. And like, it's funny that you say that because it's like, I'm pretty sure Zato does not have the same understanding of sexuality and gender norms as humans on Earth would.
Yeah.
So it's just like to Zato, it's like, oh, they just like each other. Cool. You know, like, because I'm pretty sure on RAFCON, you know what I'm saying? Everybody just be doing whatever anyway. Like, they ain't got no quote unquote, oh, only a man should be with a woman and all that kind of crap. I highly doubt that. Like, aliens are aliens. Like, they're going to do whatever.
No Eurocentric stuff to live up to.
Exactly. Like, they don't give a shit. I really find that very interesting that, you know, you had Zato being like, no, well, look at you. And then you got
right.
It's like, you do that. You do that.
Yeah. And
then you got like Amelia in the background, like, oh.
She was so happy for her, yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
And Ollie, you know, he doesn't care.
Right.
Like, this is not a big deal.
Ollie just being Ollie.
Yeah, oh, look at that. That's cool. And like, it's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal. It is not a big deal.
And I think, these things just need to be played like this. It's not a big deal. Just let people
not a
be
big
them.
deal. Exactly. And I love that about Power Rangers. I love that they actually did it that way, where it wasn't a big deal. It was just like, oh, okay, she just likes girls. Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. And we keep it pushing. Like, it's the viewers that has a problem. But, you know, like, but for the most part, it's like we literally live in a world where everybody is like, it doesn't matter what you are. You like, if you're a hero, you're a hero. Like, how many times have we seen our actual heroes, you know, not be what we thought, not be what they thought, what we thought they were. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, let's just history moment real fast. Like, people really do be sweating Martin Luther King all the time, but what people really don't realize is that a gay man was writing his speeches.
Right.
A whole gay man was writing his speeches. So let's just be for real. Like, there are heroes coming all shapes, sizes, sexual orientations, whatever. And it's just like, I just love the fact that, you know, Power Rangers really is trying to step out of this little tight niche little lock box and is really trying to like expand and is really trying to cover more and is trying to do more with the brand rather than just this little ABC bullshit that we've been doing for the past like 28 years, where they seem like they were so scared to even let like their Rangers even hold hands, more or less even kiss. You know, right, it's like, you know, it's ridiculous. And I do hear horror stories of them saying the producers or whomever at the time were like, or like the network, you know, were being like, oh, well, boys don't like it when they kiss.
That's crazy. But they're able to do it in all the other kid shows. Okay.
Right. Like, do you not know boys are always going to sit there and be like, ew? Like, that is just a natural reaction for little kids. Like, little boys do that shit all the time. And then by the time they're fucking 12 years old, now they sitting here looking at porn. Oh,
damn. You really be going in there.
Let's not do this.
Yeah, that's just very realistic. Yeah, and Power Rangers has been it's been marketed at least at one point, it was marketed to boys that are preteens.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, and then there's girls, like they had a whole Power Rangers for girls lines with Barbie doll Power Rangers. So girls are watching too if they think
Girls
that
are
boys
watching
would want to see
too.
that, and they're still watching.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, and that's what the fandom really doesn't realize is that there are actual like women, like hardcore Power Ranger fan women out there who love the show just as much as boys do, and it's like, y'all really just aren't trying to give the women nothing to root for, nothing to watch. Like, it's not just a boy brand. Like, it's a children's brand. Like, it is for everybody. It is a everybody brand. So I'm like, I just love the fact that, first of all, we got a female Green Ranger. Not only do we have a female Green Ranger, but we also have a LGBTQIA plus Ranger on that spectrum. And it's like Dino Fury is not trying to shy away from having their women be badasses. Like, it is what it is. Like, every time you turn around, you got either Amelia or Izzy kicking ass. Like, they doing something where it's like all eyes are on them. And I love it. I love it. I just wish that earlier seasons would have done that. Like, they would have done that with Aisha. Or they would have done that with Tanya. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just wish that we would have gotten that kind of stuff with them. Because do we not know that Tanya has never finished off a monster by herself? Even though we know Tanya got hands. We know she do. But we've never seen her finish off a monster by herself. Why is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, we see Catherine fighting Archerina by herself, even though she got the weakest ankles in history, but she fighting and defeating monsters by herself all the time. Hell, in one episode, she literally twisted her ankle on the train tracks, and then a few seconds later, finished off the monster with her turbo bow, with her weapon in turbo. So it's like, we can give Pink plenty of times to do her thing, but when it comes to Yellow, it's like, but whatever. That's a different subject for another time. Let's go ahead and rate these shows. Different conversation for another day. But let's
wait. We forgot something huge.
What?
Void Knight. We saw his face.
Oh yeah. We did see his face.
And he's a white man. Looks like a human. maybe or maybe not is human. I don't know.
I think
But this is the first time that we've ever seen his face, and we've never even had a hint that there was like a person under that helmet.
Right.
So that was kind of random. Do you think?
Well, I wouldn't say it's random. I wouldn't say it's random.
I guess because he has a human wife, I guess, right?
I don't think she's human.
You don't think she's human?
No, I don't think she's human. I think he's human. I don't think she is.
That's interesting.
I don't think she's human, but I definitely think he's human for sure. I think he is. Yeah, I think he is. Like, there's just something about Void Knight that screams very human to me. I don't know. Like, I just get this strange feeling that he's probably a human being. Somehow he fell in love with an alien, and that alien woman is trapped in this in this tube of water. Like, and that's the only way to save her is with the Sporix. Okay, it's giving very Mr. Freeze. It's giving very Mr. Freeze. So yeah, I do. I think that Void Knight is human, and that Santora. Plus, like, the name Santora.
Yeah, because it's human.
That's
I'm sorry if there's anybody named that.
I mean, seriously, I am so sorry, baby. But your name sounds very made up, and it sounds like an actual alien. I am so sorry to tell you that. Like, seriously. And they probably know that. They probably be like, yeah, it does sound a little weird. Yeah, it does. I'm just saying. But yeah, so it is what it is. But yeah, let's go ahead and rate these episodes. Will, what you got? 12 and 13.
I would give both of them damn. I'm always so indecisive. It's like when I'm looking at a menu. Damn it. I was thinking 4, and then that's kind of high. But 3 is in the middle, and I feel like that's maybe not high enough. I'll give them 4s. I'll give them both 4s.
I was gonna say, like, shit, it's your rating, like,
Because I watched both episodes, and as we were going through it, I literally was like watching them again as we were talking about them on mute, and I enjoyed them a lot more. So yeah, I enjoyed them, but I think it's something that I'm feeling is what I was feeling when we were talking about this months ago before they took the little hiatus. When are we going to get to the season-long arc? When are we going to be, like building that a little bit more deliberately?
Right.
Episodes that are, a thread towards whatever the finale is going to be. I feel like we need to get there.
That's real. Okay. That's understandable. Lena, what you got?
I think for me, for both episode, I will give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think like I thoroughly enjoyed it as a whole. And it didn't help that Will kept sending all kinds of stuff in our chat, just ruining it for me.
I'm sorry.
Usually had no idea what I was expecting to watch.
Oh my goodness!
Until he's on like, oh, Void Knight's identity's been revealed, and so it's just sort of like, well, I'm expecting it now. I'm waiting for it now. He just looks like. I'm almost disappointed that it was a random white man. I was hoping it would be like someone from Rakorian. He would be Rakorian.
Rafcon.
Yeah.
I thought that the first time that I heard him speak, I thought he sounded black. So I was wondering if that was Ion, but no, they didn't do that.
Nah.
I mean, I knew it wasn't Ion, but I just was like expecting someone else. Like not Ion, that's for sure. I know what he sounded like, but I just wasn't expecting a typical white man. I'm like, oh, he just looks like every other white dude. I don't know. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I was like so disappointed. When I saw the review, I was like, oh, well, what's new? Another white man added onto the show. Whoopie-doo.
Oh, God.
At least he got to keep his facial hair.
Girl, this man had on eyeliner. Like, his hair was done, honey. I'm like, first of all, his hair is not getting tangled in his helmet. Because, honey, the way he took that helmet off, and that hair was perfect. Okay? He had that little swooped off to the side with the little bump. I was like, you better, Void Knight. But, okay. I guess for me, mine is going to be different. I'm going to say for episode 12, I would give episode 12 a 3 even. A 3 out of 5. But episode 13, I'm giving it a 4.5. It was almost perfect for me. Like, it was like literally almost perfect. There was just a few things in there that made me go like, but for the most part, like, it was definitely damn good TV. I was like, yeah, I fucks with it. It's good. I'm happy. So, I mean, that's how I see it. We're good. But yeah. So if you guys, let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about it. How do you feel about these episodes? Did you guys love them? Did you hate them? Like, what did you think? And let us know in the comment section. And plus, with anything else that we talked about tonight, like, let us know. We love to hear from you guys. We always love to hear from you guys. And it's always a pleasure, obviously, talking with these two because they always make me laugh. And I make them laugh occasionally.
Or maybe
when I'm not saying, right, I'm making fun of each other. So yeah. But once again, thank you for listening to Tribunal Grid. My name is Brandon.
I am Lena.
And I'm Will.
And we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.